The frontline city of Nikopol is about 20 kilometers across the river from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. The city has about 50,000 residents remaining since the start of the war. They have gotten used to living near a potential nuclear danger.
Right after Russia occupied the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, information campaigns were carried out by our local authorities about the possible consequences of such an accident. Even then, you could get potassium iodide in Nikopol hospitals to protect yourself from the effects of radiation exposure.
Sayenko says the locals have been calm, but after warnings from Ukraine's intelligence chief, who recently said that the Russians have approved plans to mine the plant and provoke a meltdown, they have been getting ready for possible evacuation.
My family is gathering all the necessary things, documents, money, and essentials to leave in an emergency.
Scientists monitoring the situation for a possible catastrophe say the cities of Nikopol and Energodar, next to the plant, are in the greatest danger of radioactive contamination.
The evacuation zone, conservatively speaking, won't go beyond the radius of 30 kilometers, maybe 20, maybe even 10.
But Ukrainian authorities expect it to be larger.
We've assumed the worst scenario. The contamination zone will be bigger than 50 kilometers. This would mean 4 regions would be affected.
That would include Zaporizhzhia with almost 800,000 citizens, 50 kilometers from the station. Viktor Hakun, a Zaporizhzhia resident who works in the pharmaceutical industry, says there is no potassium iodide available in drugstores. This salt helps protect the thyroid gland in case of radiation exposure.
It disappeared from the beginning when the station was occupied. Then people tried to buy as much as possible.
Viktor has 2 children and is already prepared for disaster.
We have a supply of water and food for a month. Our cars are always filled with a full tank.
On June 29th, Ukraine conducted nuclear disaster response drills in surrounding regions. Aside from the direct risk to locals, experts warn a meltdown would be a threat to agriculture and Ukraine's main river, the Dnipro.
Radioactive material could contaminate cropland and could also increase the perception that the crops are unsafe.
It may happen that the banks of the Dnipro River will be polluted, which would contain radionuclides on the way to the Black Sea, and its entire coast will be polluted.
The Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant is the largest in Europe and has been occupied by Russia since last March. Lesia Bakalets for VOA News.